They delivered me into the hands of the palace guards, who delivered me into the walls of a holding cell. I had a bad feeling about the way things were going. Mostly people who were sent to the patrician for trial got seen right away. Rumor had it that being put in a holding cell pending trial was like being filed away in a drawer marked forgotten. And not a very big drawer at that. The door to the cell was so stereotypical I half expected to look around and find a bearded old man manacled to the wall. I pounded on the door, but no one seemed to care. The wall to the cell had a nice dank feel to it. I expect it was Cell Wall of the Month in Home and Dungeon. I could find nothing out of the ordinary about the wall.
There's a hole there.
Wall to the I
have nothing on me.
Fast little fellow, he disappeared the moment I started moving.
Maybe I've got to wait. Damn it.
No matter what I did, that rat was too quick for me. The rat had disappeared in a small crack in the wall. The question was, where had he gone? As I worked my fingers around the crack, it became clear that the crack was the side of a loose slab. The other side of the wall was another cell, but nothing like the holding cell. This was full of sketches and models, tools and materials. It looked more like a workshop, and there was someone working in it.
Would you like a cup of tea?
No, thanks.
Are you sure? Or are they not drinking tea outside anymore?
Outside?
The city. I take it you're from the city. How is it? Same as ever, I suppose.
You're Leonard de Quirm.
Yes, I am.
I'd found Leonard de Quirm. The man was almost a legend. There was no disputing that Leonard was a technological genius. But this meant he was as dangerous to the precarious stability of Ankh-Morpork as a compulsive smoker in a firework factory. Rumor had it that the patrician had locked him in a nice airy cell for everyone's safety, because Leonard was the kind of guy who'd light any fuse for the innocent pleasure of seeing what kind of bang he could make. The only other thing I could recall was that although the guy was hot stuff at the nuts and bolts, he was definitely at the bottom of the class when it came to thinking up names. The patrician keeps you imprisoned here,
Sorry?
You're working for the patrician?
Not really. He calls from time to time and has a look at some of my sketches. Nice man. He keeps me abreast of events on the outside.
What's that you're working on?
This is my flapping wing flying device. I built a small prototype out of gutta-percha strips, twisted tightly together, and it worked. Although not very well. Now I'm building a full-scale model.
Does it fly?
Not yet. But once I've solved the problem of the weight of the holding it together frame and the mechanical faults with the spinning blades radiating from the central hub, it should do. I was having trouble getting enough force to twist the blades together, but the troll the other week sorted that out for me.
Troll?
Yes. He was staying in your room before you. He made this window for me so I could watch the birds. Always good for inspiration of the birds. Not that I don't have enough inspiration as it is. Damn things. Just once I'd like to wake up without finding my sheets covered in sketches of novel designs for apple peelers.
Did you give the troll some metal strips by any chance?
Yes. He made them into a metal hook with prongs, I believe. Not one of my designs.
His name was Malachite.
Was it? It's possible. I never was good with names.
Covered with wood, wire, paint, drawing materials, sketches, cartoons, and glue. The table was either the product of a highly deranged or a highly arranged mind. There was nothing useful to me on the table. Well, nothing useful that wasn't glued down or that I thought Leonard wouldn't notice missing. The gaping hole had been created by Malachite to escape from the palace. Leonard liked to think of it as a window. At that moment, I thought I heard the sound of someone at the door to my cell. My heart leapt to my throat and narrowly missed my tonsils. I had to get back to my cell and fast.
Hello, Luton.
Nobby, what are you doing here?
I've come to let you go.
Does Vimes know you're here?
Yeah, he sent me.
What happened?
There's a witness to Malachite's murder. Saw the whole thing, although not very well. He couldn't identify the killer, but from the description we got from him, we can rule out you.
So, I'm off the hook?
More or less.
Vimes must be livid.
I've seen him happier, but he's still convinced you're involved in this somehow.
I dare say he has a point, actually. But I'm not a cold-blooded killer, whatever he may think. Who was the witness?
A gargoyle up on the roof of the clerk's office on Salis Street.
What did he see?
I'm not supposed to discuss that with you. Come on, let's get you out of here.
You won't get any arguments from me.
Right, here's your stuff.
Where's the crowbar?
We're keeping that as evidence.
Yeah, right. I'll see you around, Nobby. Thanks for coming to get me out. I appreciate it.
That's what friends are for, isn't it?
Friends are for getting you out of a holding cell?
Could be. I ain't got that many.
You won't get any argument from me. See you later. I had this feeling that I was caught in the middle of something big, but I still hadn't a clue what it was. All I could do was keep searching and hope that sooner or later I'd stumble upon the truth. Well, maybe not stumble, just very carefully put my foot on it and hope the other end didn't come up and hit me in the teeth.
Right, so...
They'd put a chalk outline where Malachite had fallen. It really drove home how big that troll was. I couldn't think of a good reason to erase the chalk outline other than the giddy thrill of vandalism. The gargoyle's name was Clark's Gable, and he had witnessed what had happened on the roof with me and Malachite. It was probably the first exciting thing to happen to him in decades. Are you the gargoyle that witnessed the troll's murder? Clark's Gable?
That's right.
I don't suppose you could talk a little more clearly.
Thing is,
I have a gutter in my mouth. Have you ever tried to speak with a gutter in your mouth?
Have I ever tried to hick with a what?
A gutter. A gutter in your mouth.
Oh, with a gutter in my mouth.
Yes.
Sorry, I guess I haven't given much thought to the orally challenged.
That's okay. We're none of us perfect.
I heard you saw the murder that took place here the other night.
Sure did.
Mind if I ask you some questions about it?
Be my guest.
So you're a gargoyle, then?
What kind of a conversation opening do you call that, eh?
Don't you get bored being stuck in the same place for so long?
You get used to it. Mating is a bit of a pain.
You must be incredibly patient.
Oh, I always have plenty of things to think about.
Such as?
Well, like, is it raining? Or doesn't that cloud look like a really big cloud?
Oh, the fun never stops when you're up on the rooftops.
You said it.
How do gargoyles mate?
Very slowly.
You can move, though.
Course. How do you think I got here in the first place,
Then why don't you?
Look, I don't criticise you for running about like your brain would stop if your body stopped moving. So don't criticise me and my lifestyle, eh?
Sorry, I didn't mean to cause any offense.
That's okay. We're none of us perfect.
Does the word Azil mean anything to you?
Sorry, I can't help you with that.
Can you think of any reason that Mundy might have been hung upside down before he was killed?
Sorry.
I gave Carlotta's description to Clark's Gable, but he didn't recognize it. Out of curiosity, I checked with the gargoyle to see if Ilsa or Two-Conkers had been up on the roof. It didn't seem like they had. Couldn't help but wonder if Al-Khali had been up on the rooftops, but the gargoyle didn't recognize his description. Do you know anything about the counterweight killings?
Sorry.
You can see the Magdalen Bridge from here, can't you?
Sure.
I don't suppose you saw a carriage drive up the bridge the other night.
Yeah, I remember that, yeah.
What happened?
Let me see. I remember the carriage coming flying along the bridge. The driver was a dwarf, I think, and he went into convulsions just before the carriage went out of control. The next thing I know, there's someone coming out at the back of the carriage.
What did they look like?
My eyesight's not that good. All I know is that as the driver went limp, the other person cut the reins. The horse ran off, the carriage careened into the river, and this other person leapt clear.
That's all you saw?
That's about it, eh?
Can you tell me what you saw the other night?
When the troll was killed, eh?
Has anything else interesting happened recently?
Well, I got a pigeon yesterday. That's a rarity. Mostly they steer clear of the rooftops that are colonised by gargoyles.
Putting that to one side, what did you see the other night?
Well, I can only tell you what I told the watch. I saw you and the big troll come up the ladder, only once you were on the roof, it was hard to make out what was going on because of the shadows. But I saw the troll get savaged. savaged repeatedly by some kind of creature. Some kind of beast.
A beast?
Yeah, that's the best description I can give you.
It's not much help, but thanks all the same.
What for?
For getting me out of jail.
No problem. Glad I could help. If you could toss the odd pigeon up here next time you're passing, I'd be grateful, yeah.